This is a story about a little red hen. The little red hen lives on a farm. She works hard all day long. She pecks the ground. She looks for worms. She sits in a bush. And sometimes she lays an egg. The little red hen has 3 friends, a cat, a dog, and a horse. These animals don't work hard at all. The cat likes to sleep in the sun. The dog likes to sleep in the shade. And the horse likes to watch TV all day long. One day, the little red hen sees a raspberry bush. "Raspberries," she squeals. "Yum, yum, yum. We can make a raspberry cake." The little red hen runs to tell her friends. "Guys, there are raspberries over there. We can make a raspberry cake." The dog drools. "Yes." The cat licks her lips. "Absolutely." The horse flicks his tail. "What a great idea. So who wants to help me pick the raspberries?" asks the little red hen. "Not me," says the dog. "I'm too busy." "Not me," says the cat. "I'm too tired." "Not me," says the horse. "I'm watching TV." "Then I will do it myself," says the little red hen. So she picks the berries one by one, all by herself. "Okay, now we need flour and sugar and milk and butter," says the little red hen. "Who wants to help me get them?" "Not me," says the dog. "I'm too busy." "Not me," says the cat. "I'm too tired." "Not me," says the horse. "I'm watching TV." "Then I will do it myself," says the little red hen. She goes all the way to the pantry and gets the flour and the sugar. She goes all the way to the fridge and gets the butter and the milk. Then she puts flour and sugar together into a big bowl. Then she puts milk and butter together into a big bowl, all by herself. "Who wants to help me mix the cake batter?" asks the little red hen. "Not me," says the dog. "I'm too busy." "Not me," says the cat. "I'm too tired." "Not me," says the horse. "I'm watching TV." "Then I will do it myself," says the little red hen. She mixes the batter until it is smooth and creamy. Then she gently stirs through the raspberries. She pours the batter into a cake, baking black bowl carefully. Then she opens the oven, puts the cake in the oven carefully, and set the temperature of the oven all by herself. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Soon, there is a delicious smell coming from the kitchen. The dog can smell it. The cat can smell it. The horse can smell it too. They all rush to the kitchen. The little red hen takes the cake from the oven. Now she is decorating the cake. Hen covered all cake with pink cream. Now she is decorating the cake with raspberries. "So, who wants to help me eat this cake?" asks the little red hen. "Me," says the dog. "Me," says the cat. "Me," says the horse. "I don't think so," says the little red hen. "You would not help me make this cake, so you will not help me eat it." She go away from the kitchen and eats the cake, every last crumb while enjoying every part of the cake, all by herself.
Don't waste time. Once upon a time, in a quiet green forest, a small ant was walking along a narrow path. On her tiny back, she carried a big piece of bread, almost 3 times her size. Yet she kept moving forward, step by step, without complaint. Not far away, a cheerful grasshopper was hopping lazily from leaf to leaf, humming to himself and enjoying the cool breeze. When he looked down and noticed the ant, he bounced toward her. He landed beside her and said, "I see you every day. Sometimes you're gathering grains, sometimes fixing your home, and now you're carrying this heavy bread. Is this how your whole life will be?" He lay down on a rock, laughing softly.
"I've never seen you rest, never seen you have fun. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Why work so hard all the time?"
The ant gently placed the bread down and replied calmly, "I'm collecting food for the rainy season and winter. I'm strengthening my home now so I won't suffer later. Just 4 months of hard work, and I can live peacefully for the next 8 months." The grasshopper laughed. "Who knows what will happen tomorrow? Why think so far ahead? Live in the moment. Like me." The ant quietly picked up the bread again and walked away without arguing. 4 months passed. Every single day the ant worked, gathering food, strengthening her home, preparing for the future she knew would come. Then one evening the sky darkened, the winds began to howl, and soon the heavy rains arrived. Thunder roared, lightning flashed, water poured down endlessly. But the ant was safe. Inside her warm, dry home, she sat peacefully surrounded by the food she had collected. She was comfortable, protected, and ready for the long season ahead. But the grasshopper was not. The leaves he once played on were soaked. The ground had turned into mud. He could barely hop. Cold winds hit his thin body. He had no food, no shelter, no warmth, nothing. Weak and shivering, the grasshopper finally made his way to the ant's home. He knocked softly. The ant opened the door and welcomed him inside without anger. When the grasshopper entered, he was shocked. The ant's home was strong. Everything was dry. Jars of food were neatly stacked. It was warm. It was safe. It was peaceful. He looked around quietly, his head lowered in shame. The ant watched him for a moment, her gentle eyes softening. She walked closer and said quietly, "Come inside. You're safe here." The grasshopper slowly lifted his head. He glanced at the warm walls, glowing softly. I didn't know it would turn out like this," he whispered, his voice trembling. "I thought there was always time. I thought tomorrow would save me." The ant smiled kindly. "Tomorrow helps only those who prepare for it today." The grasshopper sat down on the warm floor, his wings still dripping from the storm.
I wasted so many days, and you used yours wisely.
The ant nodded. "We all make choices, but it's never too late to change." The grasshopper looked around again, this time with gratitude instead of shame. He gently placed his hand over one of the jars and said, "Your home. It's beautiful. You built all of this, little by little." The ant chuckled softly. "That's how everything is built, one small step at a time." A quiet moment passed. Outside, the storm continued to rage, but inside, the air felt warm and still. The grasshopper took a deep breath. "When the rains stop," he said, "will you teach me how to work like you, how to save, how to build?"
We'll start together. And this time, you won't be alone.
The grasshopper smiled for the first time that day. A real smile, a hopeful one. And inside that tiny, glowing home, sheltered from the storm, a new beginning quietly took root. Because sometimes the hardest lessons create the strongest change. The end. Always be kind. On a big, lively farm lived a beautiful racehorse. He was strong, fast, admired by everyone. The farmer called him his pride, a true champion. Not far away, in a quiet corner, lived a small, plain pig. He had no medals, no attention, no glory. And yet, between the proud horse and the simple pig, grew a pure friendship. The pig didn't love the horse for fame. He loved him for his honest, kind heart. One morning, everything changed. During training, the horse slipped and fell hard. He couldn't stand. He couldn't move. The farmer rushed to bring the veterinarian. Hours passed. The horse lay still, breathing weakly. Late at night, the vet whispered, "If he doesn't stand before sunrise, we'll have to end his pain." The pig heard every word. His little heart raced. He ran to the stable, tears falling. "Please, get up," he cried. "I'm here. Don't give up now." All night he stayed beside his friend, whispering, begging, praying. And when the first sunlight touched the stable floor, the horse moved. His legs trembled, but slowly. He stood, alive. The pig squealed with joy. The farmer shouted, "Our champion is back." But deep inside, everyone knew who the real hero was. The little pig who never left his friend's side. Days passed. The horse recovered and soon raced again. He won a big city competition. The farmer held a shiny trophy, smiling proudly. Back on the farm, the pig ran happily to greet his friend. But then he heard the farmer announce loudly, "We won. Let's celebrate. Cook the pig for the feast." The pig froze. He looked at the horse, desperate for help. But the horse, wearing his medal, turned away coldly. "I have more important things to think about," he said. The pig's heart broke, but he remembered his own words. "Be strong. Don't give up." He pulled with all his strength, broke the ropes, and escaped through the open gate. He ran toward the forest, free but frightened. The angry farmer jumped onto the horse and chased after him. The horse ran through the forest, hooves thundering on the ground. Suddenly, a fallen tree. The horse tried to jump and crashed. His legs snapped. He fell screaming in pain. The farmer hit the ground too. Shocked, hurt, desperate, tears filled his eyes as he lifted his gun. He wanted to end the horse's suffering. The pig, hiding in the bushes, saw everything. He trembled with fear, but his heart wouldn't let him stay still. He charged forward and knocked the farmer aside. The gun fired. The bullet hit the farmer's own foot. Screaming, the farmer dropped the weapon and ran away. The horse lay injured, crying. "I don't deserve your friendship," he whispered. "You saved me again. Why?" The pig gently touched his nose. "Because real friendship doesn't break," he said softly. "It forgives, it believes. I saved you, not for who you were, but for who you can still become." The horse closed his eyes, tears falling. "Please forgive me," he said. "I already did," the pig whispered. "Now, forgive yourself." Morning sunlight slipped through the trees. The pig looked toward the forest, his path to freedom. Before leaving, he turned back one last time. "Take care, my friend."
Life gives us second chances. Use yours well.
The horse watched him disappear into the trees. And for the first time in his life, he understood loyalty.